Hey everyone, thank you for joining me today as we dive into the final module of time management and personal development. Before we get started, I wanted to address the last two videos. I know I jumped straight into the content without a formal introduction. Sometimes life gets busy and we just have to keep moving forward, right? But today, last module ties everything together. And I'm excited to share these final thoughts with you. So let's get into it.
Okay. Now, what is time blocking? You basically set aside a specific amount of time for a particular task. You slot it in your calendar. And so instead of attending to every as an example, if instead of attending to every notification that pops up on your screen, you allocate a specific time for it. For example, let us say that you have a 15 minutes window after every 2 hours of work to check your emails or messages or whatever that is doing. Now, this is a very, very effective way of managing your time. Okay, I use it personally, and I found that it is way more powerful and efficient than a normal to-do list. All right. So it's way more efficient than a to-do list. I used the app. I'll tell you about it later. All right. So what I do is that I create my weekly calendar with the time slots for everything that I need to work towards. Okay, and I try and finish the task within the assigned slot. Now, if it doesn't finish, based on the urgency and the importance of the task I'm doing, I either shift the next task to the next block, or I stop the current one and get on to the next one. In fact, I used to do this when I was developing my parenting module, training modules, and I was writing my book also. So I used to get up at 3:30 in the morning, and after an hour of my morning routine of meditation and stuff like that, writing goals and stuff, and then 2 hour slot was dedicated for writing, and I got so much of writing done so quickly because at that point in time, at 4:30, there was absolutely no disturbance. Okay, and I knew what needed to be done and at what time it needed to be done. All right. Now, it is very good at improving your focus and concentration because it forces you to think about one block at a time. When you know that the time blocked for this particular activity, you're focused only on that, and your concentration is also very, very good. So remember that when you're under time pressure, you know that you don't have the luxury of checking your phone and taking long coffee breaks and stuff like that. Another reason why this is very effective is that it removes lethargy. It is slotted, so you have no confusion about what to do and when to start and stuff like that. Okay, and you also know that you don't have a lot of time allocated for a particular task, so you're constantly you're pretty alive when you're working with a specific block of time. Another important thing, like last time, it removes multitasking because you are working on designated time slots associated for each of these tasks. Okay. Now, there is something that you need to remember, that plan your week in advance. Okay. Write down the entire week, slot different things that you think are you should be doing through the week, and one day prior, go through the entire list for the next day and edit some if required, because by then you have a much better clarity of the next day. Something else has come up that is urgent and important, so you can decide what needs to be done. All right. Remember that to get something you want, you need to first plan and then work towards getting it. All right. Now, just wanting something and not doing what it takes to get it just makes it wishful thinking. Now, once you have your time slots and you're committed to it, stay committed to it, okay? Don't let anything or anyone take you out of pursuing it. There may be some emergency that may need your attention, but other than that, avoid all kinds of distractions and requests for help and your time required for somebody else and stuff like that. Anything that doesn't really help you progress towards your goal. It could be a daily goal that you need to complete, or in the larger goal that you're working towards, all right? See, when we don't plan out, we give priority to a lot of things that are urgent but not important, okay? Like a friend asking you out for a movie, or going for a walk or a run, some office work that gets spilled over and you carry work home. We keep attending to all these tasks and we really put off our well-being, our family and our interests, and they come last, all right? The best way to block your time is to look at all the areas of your time and slot the important events first. Because that gets pushed to the back seat every single time. So let us say you are going on a movie or a picnic with your family, you have a date night with your spouse, you're visiting parents or in-laws, all these are very important things. Is there a birthday coming up? Slot these activities first, so you know that is already there. It is, and then let everything else be filled with whatever work you need to do, not the other way around. Okay, normally this is the way it happens. You're so focused on what you're doing, different kinds of work, this firefighting about this, firefighting about that, and everything else takes a backseat. And before you know it, your children have gone away and you realize that you didn't spend enough time with them. You become old, you don't have time and the energy to do the traveling or going on the drive or doing rock climbing that you always wanted to do. It's not worth it. Now, if someone asks for your time that you've already allocated to your family, the important ones that I just mentioned, then please decline it politely. Okay, you will be surprised at the number of things that can wait that are not even urgent, that you might have thought earlier that, oh, this is urgent, that has to be done. See, time management is simple. You want it, so make time for it. Remember that if you don't claim your time, somebody else will claim it for them. Okay, somebody else will claim your time for achieving their goals. All right, so let me know what you think about this. And this is a very, very, very effective, I am telling you from personal experience, a very effective method, especially for people who are working from home, professionals who don't have a specified working hours of, ironclad working hours like 9 to 5 or 9:30 to 5:30 and stuff like that. So for them, this works brilliantly. All right, so let me know what you think about it and your thoughts regarding it. Now comes a very famous technique that a lot of people use, and it is recommended also by a lot of people, that is the Pomodoro technique. Now, I don't know if you've heard of it, but Pomodoro is basically Italian for tomato. Okay, this was developed in the late 1980s by a university student called Francisco Cirillo. Now, he was struggling to focus on his studies and complete assignments and stuff like that. So he got very overwhelmed and he decided that he will only focus on studies for 10 minutes at a time. Okay, and he was able to do it, and he was able to do things much better. And then he found a kitchen timer, which was in the shape of a tomato. And he started using that timer, and that is how this entire Pomodoro technique was born. But today, there are millions who swear by this method. Okay, let's see what it is and why it is so simple and effective. So basically, the Pomodoro technique involves get a to-do list. You have a to-do list and you have a timer, alright? Then set your timer for 25 minutes and focus on a single task until the timer rings. Now, when your session ends, mark off one Pomodoro and record what you have completed in that 25 minutes. Then enjoy a 5-minute break. Okay, now when you say 5-minute break, that does not mean getting on social media and chatting and stuff like that, unless it is something urgent. It could be some mindfulness activity. You could just go for a short walk. Just get out of that environment. Just stretch yourself nicely. Do a 5 minutes meditation. Now, if you're working on something very important and very time bound, these things will really help. When you do some kind of a meditation, you'll come back fresh for the next Pomodoro. All right. After about 4 Pomodoros, 4 slots of Pomodoros, take a more restorative break of 15 to 30 minutes. Now, you need to protect your Pomodoro from all kinds of distractions, okay? If people come and try to grab your time, intervene into what you're doing, just tell them that you'll be back after your Pomodoro and you're following it, all right? Now, plan your Pomodoros in advance so that you know exactly how it is going to pan out. Now, let's see how it happens. I'll give a sample. So, let's say these are some of the tasks that you have for the day. You know that, write article first draft. How many Pomodoros does it require? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pomodoros. Then, okay, I will allocate 6 Pomodoros for that. And emails and messages, definitely not more than 1. Plan article. So, you basically know what are the kind of task and approximately how much time you require, okay? And you allocate Pomodoros as per that. So basically you have 12 Pomodoros slotted, and that's a pretty good number to work on if you're really working as the way it is supposed to be done, alright? Now, why is it so effective? Okay, that's the question. First, it's easy to get started. Even if you have a big, huge, challenging task in front of you, you just have to focus on one small portion that you can do in 25 minutes. That becomes much easier. It is a small steps then accumulated that creates a giant step, yes or no? Second, it is very easy to, ward off distractions. So then when you're working, there is always some text or email or notification that comes in. And if it is important, you know that after 20 minutes or after that Pomodoro, you have 5 minutes that you can attend to it. So you are not distracted every single time something comes away. You know it is just some 5, 10, 15 minutes away for you to check it. Okay. And most important, you become aware of where you spend your time. All right. So you can see after a week how many Pomodoros did you do in each day and what are the tasks that you accomplished. So you become much more aware of how you're spending your time so that you can make it more and more effective. This is slightly different from time blocking that I mentioned because that is for maybe 1 hour, 2 hours. So these are different techniques. Depending on maybe the task that you have, you can choose the kind of time management tool technique that you would like to use for that day. That's also an option. All right. So let me know whether you know about this technique. And there are a lot of apps these days. Pomodoro apps, focus time. You just check in your Play Store or App Store. You'll find just type Pomodoro and you'll get tons of apps, which is basically catering to the same thing. So you don't need a kitchen timer, physical kitchen timer. Okay. So let me know whether you've heard of this. If you've heard of this, whether you've tried it out. If you've tried it out, whether it is effective, not effective. Okay, so we've learned a lot about time management, different techniques and stuff like that, but there is another very important aspect that you need to understand, and that is time wasters. Now, one of the traps in time management is not able to identify where you're wasting your time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share some of the common reasons for not being able to get things done. These are the time wasters. Okay, first is waiting for inspiration. All right, now this is one of the most common mistakes that most people do. Okay, understand that most of the time the real reason is not that. This is just a front. I'm waiting for inspiration. Okay, the real reason could be something deeper. Okay, and this waiting for inspiration could be a cover up to hide some bigger issues like fear, self-esteem issues, some limiting beliefs that you have, self-sabotage, all these things. You got to be honest with yourself and figure out what it is that is stopping you. That does not give you the inspiration to work, or else work with a coach so that he can help you identify what are the things that is limiting you or stopping you from achieving what you can achieve. Now, most successful people agree that waiting for inspiration is nothing but a waste of time. They're not dependent on how inspired they feel to start their work. Now, if you're serious about time management and productivity, so you need to get to work and forget about trying to feel that inspiration. Okay, that's a big trap. Now, instead of that, that's why I've given you so many techniques where you don't have to wait for inspiration. You have your schedule, you have slotted block time for your activity. Just go with it. Day in and day out. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I will do this. Okay, even people like Bill Gates and Musk, they keep their schedule airtight and it's divided into 5-minute intervals for optimal efficiency. All right. The next one, another trap, time waster. Trying to do everything yourself. This is very crucial if you want to be optimally productive and use your time for the really important tasks that you must do. You remember the monetary value of the time that I shared with you? Your time should be focused on activities that increase if you're earning 2 lakhs a month, your activity should be towards increasing that 1,200 rupees per hour to 2,000 to 5,000. Okay. All other tasks are unimportant and routine and repetitive. You delegate it to other people at a cheaper price than 1,200. Okay, so that your time is optimally used and it is used for the right purpose. Got that? Next is worrying about what other people say. Now, this is just your little voice inside your head that stops you from doing things. Now, the little voice is not little, it is huge. This is one thing that stops you from achieving whatever you want to achieve in life. If you've not achieved the rewards that you're supposed to get, that's because of the little voice. If you're not in the health that you would like to have, that's because of the little voice. If you have not started working on your modules or your training programs till now, it's because of your little voice. So little voice is so huge that my mentor Blessing has written an entire book on it. All right. Now, I will be working a lot on your little voice and kick you out of your comfort zone, and I will help you achieve what you don't think is possible for you. Okay, that's the role of a coach. I should be able to see things and I should be able to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. That's what Pallavi does. That's what I do. So I'll be working a lot with you at diamond level, then I get to interact with you at a one-on-one level. But for now, just try and remember these points that will help you get your little voice out. First of all, you remember the backbenchers in school. Not I was also a backbencher, but I was not the typical backbencher. There are people who borrow comments. That is because that's the easiest thing to do, and they don't have the courage to do things that you may be doing. And it's also proof that they're unhappy and upset with their lives. Happy people are generally empathetic and they understand other people, what other people are going through, even if they're going through fear and apprehension. Okay, they don't borrow comments and stuff like that. And those who borrow comments are not really your friends, and they don't really matter to you in life. And if you find yourself worrying a lot about other people, it just means that you don't have enough work. You're not focused, you're not really committed to your goal. That is why you have so much free time to think about what other people are thinking about you. If you have a lot of work, when you're preparing for your exam, you don't have time to worry about other things, right? You're constantly focused on, getting more and more done. So that's another thing that you got to look at. Do you have enough work, constructive, quality work that you have to do on a daily basis? Okay. Third, and the most important, please don't give too much importance to yourself. Don't think that the whole world is thinking about you. They're not. They don't think about you as much as you think they do. In fact, they're also more bothered about what other people are thinking about them, right? That's just like you and me. Now, another reason is not living in the now, or not living in the present, not living your life in the present. See, the past is over and future is uncertain. The only thing that you and I have is the gift of now. That is why it's called a present. It's called the present, right? Unfortunately, most of us live in the past glory, the accolades that we have achieved, we have received, and things that we have achieved, and recalling constantly about those times that we did that and I did this and stuff like that. You hear a lot of people do that, and at other times they are worried about an uncertain future. What will happen if if this doesn't happen? That's all future based or past based. The fact is that neither past or present can get your work done, right? All you have to do is focus on what you have right now, today. What is the task that is slotted for you at this time of the day? And just focus on that. And that's one step towards your goal. Remember that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that step is in front of you, scheduled. You have scheduled it. And then when you look at it, you just do it like a machine. You don't have to think too much. And it's the discipline of doing all these small activities, small steps on a daily basis that translate into huge, massive victories and accomplishments going forward, right? The next is fear. Now, this is also the result of the little voice. Okay, one of the best definitions of fear that I like is that fear is false evidence appearing real. This is also most of the time based on future. It does not happen. You're thinking about it and thinking that it might as a hoga types. Okay, so again, this also is a function of your little voice, your internal conversation, which I will take care of. Just hold on. Now, taking action is the biggest cure for any fear that you have. In fact, I remember during my training time, we have to dive from the diving board of the swimming pool. If you just go and stand on the edge and look down, it's very scary. It's very scary. You feel your feet become numb. Some people can't move forward or even back. They just freeze over there. But the moment they take action, they take a jump, they take that one step forward and jump from it, their fear vanishes instantly and they realize that, oh, okay, this is fine, I can do it again. Alright, so take action towards whatever is stopping you or whatever is worrying you or whatever is the cause of the fear. Take action towards it. Next is perfectionism. Okay, this also stops people from moving forward, especially if you're good at what you do. Okay, feel like, okay, I need to be better. I need to be better than this. Okay, no, you need everything perfect in every way. The fact is that perfection is a myth. You can never be perfect. There's always one step ahead of wherever you've reached. Yes or no? That's how the world progresses. That's how individuals progress. Now, there are many more time wasters. Some of the other time wasters are just constantly complaining about this, that, other things. You're spending time and energy on negative stuff. All right, instead of focusing on doing things that will take you to a different destination. Another one, trying to please everyone. Again, you remember not urgent. Urgent but not important tasks of the Eisenhower matrix. Trying to make sure that you're in the good books of everyone never works. Right? It's like a coach. Good coaches are always timed in retrospect. During the interaction, they hate the coach because the coach is focused on the goal. They're not focused on my hand is spinning, my leg is spinning. That's what I'm saying. So don't try to please everyone. Comparing yourself to others. Most of the time we compare ourselves to people who are much better and more accomplished than us. And then instead of getting inspired, we feel depressed. I don't know why. Okay? So stop comparing. Everybody is unique. You're unique. I'm unique. And we have our own purpose in this world. And we are working towards that. Repeating the same mistake. That's because you don't document your activity. If you follow the techniques that I've taught you right through this entire training, you will stop repeating the same mistakes. You'll be more aware of what is happening. Unfinished task that keeps getting postponed. All this because you don't have a schedule, you don't have a structure for what you want to do in life. Okay, remember that anything that wastes your time and makes you unproductive should be avoided. There should be no distractions when you are working. And even if there are distractions, you need to try and learn. Initially, it will be frustrating, it will be difficult. Like I said right in the beginning, just because you've learned these techniques, it's not going to magically transform your time management. This takes a lot of work, effort, and commitment. Remember that. Okay, if you're committed, everything is possible. Now, to avoid these distractions, you should have the ability to say no, and that is a technique or a learning in itself how to say no. And I will be teaching you about how to say no in the module on productivity. All right. Okay, now we've come to a very interesting module, which is basically I'm going to share some tools, actual things that you can do, activities that you can do, as well as certain precautions that you can do to save time. And I'll also be covering some actual tools, online tools that you can use to help you manage your time. Okay. Now remember that whatever I shared in time management is also applicable to productivity. Time management and productivity are linked very, very closely. Okay. Remember that you have 1,440 minutes in a day. And most of us are awake for at least about 16 hours. So basically you have 960 minutes every single day to do the stuff that you want to do. The better you're managing this 960 minutes, the more productive you would be, the more productive you would be at time management. All right. So first of all, like I say, talk about your mindset. Do you consider your time as valuable? Now, if you do so, let us look at something that you can do to maximize your time. One of the things that I keep hearing the complaint from other people is that someone wasted their time. Okay. Now, I got a big learning from one of my mentors because there were two founders and one of them invited the other one for a meeting and he went there and the other guy reached fashionably late and the one was furious by the time. I think he came about half an hour, 40 minutes late. And the first one person was furious. He said, how can you do this? How can you waste my time? And he went on and on. He said, my friend, how can you waste your time? Your time is not mine to waste. And the first partner was stunned with the revelation. So remember this. Your time is yours. Nobody can waste your time. So what can you do to make sure that it doesn't get wasted? One of the things that you can do is never go empty-handed to a meeting. See, you have no control of how other people manage their time. You have no control of how the traffic is, the weather is. All you can do is you can ensure that you are using your time well. You can carry a book that you need to read, a file that you need to work up, or even a laptop and finish your work while you're waiting for them. Now, if you had allocated 1 hour for the meeting and there is 20 minutes late, you use your 20 minutes to make sure that you continue with your work and accomplish some of your tasks, and you give the balance 40 minutes to that meeting. That's all. So on top of that, what happens is that you will not be upset about the fact that somebody is reaching late, because they're not dictating how you're spending those time when you're waiting for them. You are continuously working, you're being useful, you're managing your time, you are productive even when they're not committed to their time, right? So don't put it on others. Your time is not for anybody else to waste. Okay, if even today, wherever I go, I have something with me, a book or something. Today what happens is that you go someplace, and if you think you have to wait, you straight away go on social media and just browse Facebook, Instagram and stuff like that. It's okay to go on social media, but see if you can learn something from YouTube. Now, if that is important to you, okay? So leave it to you. This is something that I do very diligently. My daughter also does that, okay? Second, if you drive more than an hour a day, get a driver. Okay, remember monetary value of your time, and use that time in the car to make important calls, listen to podcasts like mine, like the one I mentioned, the Awkward Talks on Spotify, read a book, if you take a nap, that will help you reach the place rejuvenated. Alright, so use the time, okay? Next, hire people and delegate work. Again, going back to monetary value of your time, figure out how much money you are worth per hour and see how you can maximize it and give off the other work to other people. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish, alright? Another thing is bunch up your tasks and handle it together. Let's say you're supposed to shoot some videos, make some reels on a daily basis, or 2-3 reels every week. So instead of doing it continuously, like every second day, you can bunch it up, write scripts and shoot 10 reels in a day and finish off for the entire month. This also helps in one way that you don't need to look for motivation every single day, right? You need motivation for one day and finish all the shoot. So it works that way as well. And the simple thing, have water bottle on your desk. You have no idea how much time you waste just going to get water. Please do your stretches if you have been sitting for some time. But just have a bottle of water. Don't. You shouldn't be getting up and going to a water cooler to get your water. Carry a bottle from home and keep it with you. Alright, don't waste your time that way. Now, another thing that you can do these days is having a standing and sitting desk. This is a desk that can come down and also go up. I have a lot of friends who use this. This is a great way to avoid boredom of working in a single position, and it's great for health also. You can keep moving around, you can stretch yourself, and it's a change of how you're working. Okay. So these are some of the things that you can do. Please do share what else you can do. Well, we have come to the end of time management training, and I don't know whether you've gone through such a comprehensive, such an extensive training on time management. You may have. But the reason I did that is because I believe each one of you is unique. Your temperament, your discipline, your commitment, everything is different. And the style of your working style could be different. The way you look at time would be different. And nowhere does it say that there is only one way to manage time and you should follow that. Okay, so you please try out the various techniques that I've shared with you and see what works best for you. But choose something that will make you come out of your comfort zone. Don't do something that you're very comfortable in. So you need to grow in the area of time management. That's very important. All right, so choose something that's going to stretch you a little bit. Okay. Now, irrespective of whichever method you choose, it is very important that you intentionally manage your time. Whether you're a leader, whether you are a professional, whether you're an employee, whether you're a business person, it can help you achieve your goals much better. You can be much more efficient. And remember that you need to work on your work-life balance because it is possible. Please don't postpone the time with your family just because you have to attend to your work and there are career and professional goals to be achieved. Please remember that your family needs you now, and they are far more important than your career or any amount of money that you make. So understand that if you don't plan your time, especially with the family, then you'll always find something that is urgent that needs to be taken care of. They just fill in your free time, all right? So manage your 24 hours so that you can work smarter and get much more stuff done within the time. The fact is that you can accomplish far bigger things than you think you can accomplish if you're good at managing your time. We don't consciously do it, we don't do it intentionally. That's what I want each of you to start doing. Okay, your life will be much easier, it will be stress-free, I would say. And you will have a very clear idea of how your days are shaping up and how closer you are moving towards your goals. And you will start living a much happier life with the people who matter to you the most. Hence, time management is very important. So I really would like to get your feedback on this different modules, of course, but also on this training on time management. I really do, because I can tweak my other trainings that I'm bringing to you accordingly. So please give me your honest feedback, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. Okay. Thank you so much for going through this time management training. So all the best.